Chapter 2. I am a Nux. That's pronounced Nux. Keyed is mic'd twice and said, anyone have eyes on November 4? November 5, what's your 20? November 5 here, on the port side cargo deck. The reply came. Shift starboard and check on November 4. His batteries may be out. Over. Nick said, copy that, was the reply. Code red. Code red. We have hostiles on the starboard side of the cargo deck. Operator down. I say again, operator down. Starboard cargo deck. I count approximate 15, 1-5, males, bright clothing armed with pistols, automatic rifles, shotguns. Shots fired. Shots fired, he shouted. November 1 to Delta 1. Code red. Nick shouted into his mic as he sprinted toward the sound of gunfire erupting from the cargo deck. This is Delta 1. All operators to the starboard cargo deck. All operators to the cargo deck, the security supervisor said over the radio. Nick ran as fast and as hard as he could, his boots slamming into the deck. He held his rifle at the ready, the muzzle tilted down, and his finger indexed at the trigger. He ran behind a row of cargo containers. He could hear the loud gunfire, the distinct booming clack, clack, clack of a Kalashnikov automatic rifle. He dropped onto one knee as he leaned out around the side of the last cargo container and saw a man in a green t-shirt and baggy pants with dreadlocks hair. The man was standing in the open, shooting the AK-47 rifle from his hip. He was smiling and laughing wildly as he let burst after burst of rounds fly. Nick bounced up and brought his rifle up into a ready-to-fire position. Unlike most of the younger operators, Nick still used open sights. The fist 2 rounds struck the man in the side and shoulder, causing him to spin. The third round tore though the side of his face as he spun toward Nick. Nick swept his rifle to the left as he saw the man going to the ground. There were 2 more men a few yards away with their backs to him, firing toward the stern. One had a cheap version of a MAC-10 pistol, and the other had a long pump shotgun. Nick continued to move forward across the wide space between the rows of containers. His weapon was up, and his upper body was turned toward the men to his left as he moved forward. He stopped at the corner of the next container and took up a stable shooting stance. He was standing sideways, making himself as small of a target as he could. His legs were shoulder width apart, and his feet were turned at 90 degrees, forming an L. He brought his sights up to the center of the back of the man on the far left. He pulled his 7.6 2-chambered AR-10 rifle type into his shoulder to make it more stable, more a part of his body as he fired. The rounds tore through the spines and rib cages of the man, slamming them forward. Nick paused only briefly to look ahead to make sure no others were in a position to shoot at him before he moved to them. He kicked the machine pistol well away from the man that would never walk again if he managed to live. Nick slammed his boot heel down hard on the man's hand. Nick could feel the bones snap under his boot. He kicked the shotgun away. Although from the look of the damage the rounds had caused, Nick knew the man was already dead. November 1, 3 hostiles down, he said into his mic. He could hear loud yelling in an odd language. It sounded as if it may have been a form of French, but sounded more Creole. He looked down at the body at his feet and saw the man's t-shirt was in the design of the flag of Haiti. November 1 to Delta 1, confirmed it's a Haitian rip-off crew, and they're armed to hell and back, he said in a low tone into his mic. He had lowered the volume on his radio as much as he could and still hear it. Copy that. He heard the reply as well as more gunfire coming over the radio. Nick moved to the end of the row, keeping to one side, moving crouched over and as fast as he could.